Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Matt Ferrell,
I'm Wayne Morris,
and this is Comedic
the
Influence.
greatest podcast in the world.
And today we've got another very special guest, none other than Mr. Dennis Maley. Dennis, how are you today?
I'm wonderful, thank you.
Good,
How are
good,
you?
Good, man.
My fan
Yeah.
club.
Good, you're there. Dang.
Yeah.
Brought the fan club with
Yes,
you.
I sure did.
That's awesome. That's awesome. We met you a couple weeks ago.
Right?
You came up and were a contestant in the open mic contest.
That's correct.
Where you tied for first place, and we had to do an audience tiebreaker.
Yep.
How long have you been doing comedy?
Since September.
So
that's awesome.
3 months, two
2
months,
months.
2 months, and you walk into a contest and automatically tie for first place.
I tied with a guy that was his first time.
Nobody else knew that, Dennis. You didn't have to say that. Like we could have just kept that sounding
the
real
facade
good
going.
there. All right, we might have to cut and redo this part. We were trying to make it sound good. No, that's true. But both of y'all came in. But there were other people in that contest that Wayne and I have known for quite a while that have been doing comedy for quite a while.
Yeah.
And two guys that are brand new to the game walked in and dominated. It was fairly easy for us to pick who the top two were, you and Zach, and then between the three of us, we couldn't decide who the winner was. We were kind of deadlocked.
The woman picked the other guy.
Huh?
The woman judge picked the other guy, not me.
I picked you.
Yeah. I see the way the math works there now.
No,
It doesn't matter.
Our judging was done by numbers, and
It doesn't matter.
and y'all
everyone,
tied in the numbers.
You, him, Andrew, and Derek were all really close in numbers.
Yeah. But either way, it's fantastic. You're walking out brand
thanks.
new to the game and killing like that. So you did
Thank
a
you.
fantastic job.
Appreciate
I've
it.
got to see your set again because we put you on a little show that we did in Chickasha.
Right?
You came out there and killed, and that was a way more diverse crowd.
Yeah.
I mean,
that was a good crowd.
The entire front part of the audience was black.
Right.
And then from there, it was kind of mixed, and not from there. It wasn't mixed race. It was mixed.
What's he talking about?
Half drunk, the other half not drunk.
No, not even that. Not even that. Like
Age?
if you tell a joke to a bunch of rich people, or if you tell a joke to a bunch of mixed class. It was a very mixed class.
Okay.
It's not.
I can buy that.
Let's
That
just
sounds
skip.
good.
Let's go
Yeah.
to something else, Dennis.
Okay.
I feel like you're not liking this line in a conversation.
Did you enjoy the Chickasha show?
Yeah, sure. I'm only doing this for fun.
Yeah. That's what we all say, and then we get addicted to it.
I'm not yet addicted yet.
No?
No.
It's where's the first place you ever went up at?
I guess it was JJ's,
Okay.
Bricktown.
Okay.
JJ's Alley?
Yeah. I've also been playing the banjo at open mics too, and
Is that something that you're brand new to also? Or have you played banjo for a
I
while?
played banjo. Well, I played banjo for 6 or 8 years,
Oh, okay.
to where I'm not embarrassed to stand up and play in front of people.
Right.
But I've only been standing up and playing to an open mic since September.
Okay. You just decided you're gonna do a bunch of stuff.
I did.
And that's great.
Is Steve Martin an influence?
I used to watch him a lot, but probably not as much as.
The banjo playing.
Oh no, man, he's wonderful player.
Yeah.
I can't. I'm closer to him in humor than I am in banjo.
Yeah, he's good. Him and Martin Short, they have that
Yeah,
tour
I
they're
didn't
on
think
all the
about
time.
that.
Yeah.
I'm more like Kermit the Frog.
You know, I was not expecting that answer.
If you had to pick a comedic influence, do you have a comedian that you're drawn to more than others?
Well, I would watch YouTube videos of Sam Kinison any day of the week,
Right.
and Rodney Dangerfield.
Mhm.
Those two guys just ripped me up.
Right. Yeah.
But back in, in the 80s and 90s, comedy was on TV every night.
Mhm.
I watched all of them then, but those are the ones that I'd watched their. I probably watched Eddie Murphy special a couple of times, or Dave Chappelle.
Mhm.
I'd watch him again, but Sam Kinison, I think, is the funniest guy that ever walked.
I can see that.
That's he was an absolute killer. That's for
Yeah.
sure. And I think his he was not a conformer.
Right.
So he was never going to make it on the mainstream stuff because he refused to do so.
Right.
Him and Bill Hicks.
Yeah. Sam Kinison, Bill Hicks. I heard a story one time, and I don't remember who it was, but Sam Kinison gave a guy some advice, and I really don't remember who it was, but the comedian was nervous about going up, and so Sam Kinison said, "Hey, here's what you do. The first time you feel like things aren't going well, just start screaming at the audience."
It's Ralphie May, right?
Was it Ralphie May?
Uh-huh.
So he goes out and he felt like things weren't going good, so he just started screaming at the audience. He goes, and let me tell you, that was the worst fucking advice I've ever been given in my life.
And he said, because he said Sam Kinison went on stage afterwards, just fucked with him the whole time and like made fun of him.
Yeah.
And then like he was like, "That was awesome, dude. You can come on the road with me."
Yeah.
He's like, "It's my crowd, so you can just yell at him and talk shit to him."
Yeah. He said, I just started screaming at him. He goes, "That's the worst advice I'd ever been given."
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's Ralphie May.
That's great. You talk about another killer. Have you ever watched Ralphie May?
Yeah.
Ralphie
Sure.
May, man, like he could talk to anybody. He could do any crowd. I would say that he's probably the most diverse comedian that there ever was. I mean, you could put Ralphie May in an all-black auditorium, and he would murder. You could put him in a upper class. It doesn't matter where you put him. All Mexican, didn't matter. He appealed to everyone.
His nephew-ish person's performing with us Thursday.
Who?
Dakota.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's
Oh,
awesome.
you didn't know that? Yeah.
Uh-uh.
That's why I got into comedy.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, so we've got a Ralphie May kinship is going to be opening for us in Tyler, Texas on Thursday.
Yeah.
Which this won't be out before
No,
that. But do you have aspirations of doing more shows? Is this something that you would like to pursue further, or you just want to do it just for a good
I think
time?
I'll do it, but I want to do it just for a good time.
Right.
I don't think I got any career. If that's what you're asking, no, I don't.
Well, I don't think it would ever be anything more than what you wanted it to be, but I definitely, in the couple of times that I've seen you, I definitely believe that you can make it as much as you want it.
I'm 73 years old.
I mean, I understand that 73 might seem a little late to start something brand new and expect to go very far, but I'm just saying I've seen your material, and I do believe that you could take it as far as you wanted to.
You're very good at writing.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, your
I'm flattered that you say that.
3-minute mark whenever you changed the tone, it was hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah, you talking about your fuzzy balls or whatever?
Fluffy.
Fluffy.
Fluffy balls.
Fluffy.
Yeah, that was.
I'm gonna have to copyright that.
You get some T-shirts made. I see the merch now.
Well, you drew them in, and then you just kind of changed the dynamic on it the last
Yeah, it was
2.5 minutes or whatever.
it was
It was
amazing.
super funny.
and that's where every bit of it starts, is sitting down and writing and figuring out the best way to present a single joke, and where in your set is the best place to present it. And you did that phenomenally. You did a fantastic job with it.
Well,
So
thank you. I'm flattered.
you bet. I'm fatter too, but
Fatter. I'm fatter for you.
it happens. Where would you like to go?
Well, I mean, I could see myself traveling to. I think, aren't you guys Fiji? No, not Fiji. No, Little Rock maybe. Or
Well, about
Amarillo.
halfway.
I don't like flying on airplanes, and I don't like driving long distances. So,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, I really do. I know this is not what this interview should be about. It shouldn't just be about us talking about how good you were, but god dang, it's hard not to say
Yeah.
and repeat several times because you really did that great of a job. But let's get back to comedians who you like. Who do you like? I know you, Sam Kinison and these guys. Do you have? I mean, Sam Kinison is definitely a style all his own.
Right.
You perform nothing like that.
Right.
Who would you say performance-wise, as far as the way you present?
I'm not very vain, but I would, and it kind of embarrasses me to say so, but maybe Ron White,
Yeah,
I can see that.
yeah, for sure.
maybe.
Yeah, I mean, you have great hair too.
I do. I do have, and I like Scotch whiskey.
Do you?
Yeah, it's great.
Man, that's
But
two things that
old-
both of y'all
old,
have over me.
expensive Scotch
Yeah,
whiskey.
I don't like Scotch,
But-
and my hairline sucks.
No. Well, he kind of winds around the story, and
Yeah,
it's got it. All of a sudden, there's a surprise that kind of ties back the first.
right.
The tater salad.
Yeah,
What a funny story that is.
yeah,
He,
classic.
yeah.
It's
He had to go sober.
yeah, but
Yeah. Now he just does shrooms and smokes a lot of weed.
Yeah.
if you want me to give my own colonoscopy,
Go
I
ahead.
would say,
Let us know how this works.
in a way, I'm kind of like Larry the Cable Guy too, because I present a persona it's not really me,
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's like Uncle Buck.
right.
Everybody's got a dirty old uncle,
Yeah,
or great uncle, and that's kind of the way I present. And,
Right.
And people understand that quickly.
yeah,
And I'm not angry and alienated,
Yeah.
and I'm not the coolest guy in the room. You guys, your deal is, I'm the coolest good old boy in the room.
nice. I appreciate that.
And
see that.
Wayne, I haven't really seen Wayne's deal, but I'm thinking
Sam
yours is
Kinison
kind-
is close.
Sam Kinison.
Sam Kinison's close.
Angry.
Yeah, well, not angry, but a lot of talking.
Misogynist.
yeah. Well, that one. Yeah.
Yeah, he hits that nail on the head.
Yeah, I can nail that one.
Every time he tells one of those jokes, I'm like, ooh.
Yeah.
But anyway, anyway, when I present with that granny freak stuff, I think everybody just immediately is there. Israel, I mean, he's entirely different. He's got a persona,
Mhm.
and he presents, and that's his thing. And
Yeah, for sure.
a lot of these other guys are really kind of struggling to have
That's a very good
a
point.
brand.
Right.
Angry and alienated is what a lot of them resort to, and it's not that original.
Yeah.
That's an observation, not a criticism. But,
Yeah.
No, I get
Well-
that. There's a woe is me one too. I see a lot.
Right.
Well, and there's people, people will watch Sam Kinison and they're like, oh my, like this guy, all he did was get out there and scream. There was a very particular art to what he was doing because you can't just get out there and scream. You have to do it in a way that people are going to love you for
Right.
it. So people who try to resort to doing something that's not naturally them, just doesn't work.
He stands the test of time. Like, cause Lenny Bruce, when you go back and watch his stuff, it's like doesn't stand as much. I mean, I get
Right.
what he did or whatever, but Sam stands like.
Yeah.
You can watch Lenny Bruce and you're like, this isn't funny right now, but you watch Sam and you're like, that's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll always be funny.
Yeah.
That's a very good point too. Is tell jokes that are not just funny today, but are they going to be funny 10 years from now?
Well, Lenny Bruce probably the iconic,
Yes.
angry and alienated person. Before that, I mean, that's not what comedians did. They
Yeah.
weren't angry.
Right.
They come tell jokes.
Fatty Arbuckle.
or
Right.
Henny Youngman, or he was on TV a lot. And one-liners.
The first one I watched, like I was little, is, oh my god, the son of a bitch, brain dead, long
That
drive.
happens.
Oh my god, silent film.
silent film.
Oh, Charlie Chaplin.
Charlie Chaplin. Yeah.
I got
You
it.
started doing just this. I didn't know
got
where
an
you were
ex-
going with this story.
I got
Charlie
an
Chaplin and then
excuse for that.
Fatty Arbuckle and then all that stuff.
Yeah. I was a big Don Rickles fan.
Yeah.
I loved Don Rickles. Don Rickles, another guy who nobody else can mimic what he did. Nobody else can walk out and insult a room full of people and they love it. You know, there's definitely people who have tried.
You're talking about Ronnie Dangerfield. He didn't until he was in his 40s, right? That's whenever he started getting notoriety.
Yeah, mid 40s is when he made it.
I don't know if
basically
this
73.
73 is the new 40.
Yeah.
I'll be 74 next month.
No, Rodney, I like his jokes.
There's a story, I don't know if it's true or not, but Rodney was fumbling and stumbling and scrapping and all of a sudden, I mean, he was changing his stage name all the time. And one night he came out as Rodney Dangerfield and stumbled into this, I get no respect.
Yeah.
And it just, he grabbed onto that as like a brand.
Yeah.
And, you know, and then became famous. I mean,
Right.
it was a skyrocket from that point. But
Yeah.
when he captured that brand, or he branded himself,
Right.
it wouldn't have made any difference what his stage name was, I don't think. But
Yeah. It did. It took hold and still stands today. I watched a podcast just the other day with two very well-known and successful comics, and that was the entire topic of their conversation was Rodney Dangerfield and the I get no respect.
right,
Because that goes really, really far and runs deep in the comedic community as far as performers and artists. Comedians are thought of as clowns, you know, and the respect isn't what it is for, say, what it is for a singer or a musician of any kind. You know, they're put way up on this pedestal
right.
as being phenomenal, and they didn't write it. They didn't write it. They didn't there was a line, somebody else wrote it, and they just did it. Whereas a comic goes out, and not only do we write every word of it, but we also have to perform every word of it, and we have to do it on a night-by-night basis. And there's no big accolades. There's no pedestal for comics to be put on other than by other comics. Other comics are who raise, you know, comedians up like that. So, but their whole conversation stemmed from the Rodney Dangerfield and getting no respect. It was a great conversation. I enjoyed it. Drives my kids crazy because that's all I listen to is comedy podcasts. And they're like, any chance we can listen to some music, Dad? I'm like, I'd rather listen to these guys talk.
The science of comedy.
Yeah. I'm still trying to learn how to tell a joke.
Well, my son's probably about your age, and he's in high school, and he wanted to watch Def Comedy Jam.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah?
Oh, man, every night. I'm on Def Comedy. It's on the. I said, okay, you can watch it until they say the MF word.
Yeah.
And so, okay, click, there, and the MF, bam, was off that quick. I mean, we didn't watch it 1 second. You know, it was. There was such great comedy then, and with that, I don't like that kind of comedy myself.
Right. We're just vulgar
Just
for no
vulgar,
reason.
right.
That's what
right.
Eddie Griffin. I ran into a special on the other day, and it was on TV, and it was edited.
Yeah.
There was so many beeps.
Yeah.
There was so many beeps.
Yeah. What's the point even putting that
Yeah,
on TV?
That's
if
what
you
I
have to
said,
edit it?
and I just sat there to watch it and laugh at the beeps because you couldn't get a word out. It was so funny. The most he made was like 7 words before beep.
Right.
It'd be like 2 words beep beep beep, 2 words beep beep beep, and I was like, this is amazing.
Sounded like the whole thing was in Morse code.
I can't believe someone spent that much time beeping it.
Yeah. Yeah. Whoever edited that deserves a raise.
Yeah.
There was a lot of button pushing in that one. Yeah, I don't like. I've visited with comics about this. Rush, who's you met Rush, and when he first reached out to me and wanted to know if he could start doing some shows, I said yeah. I said let's sit down and talk though. Here's the deal. Obviously, I don't use the N word in anything I do.
Right.
I don't like the word in general, but I understand that a black comic might use that word. But to me, if you use the N word repeatedly, that's the same as me using the F word repeatedly. It's lazy. If you can't think of anything else to say in place of that, then you're just being lazy. And he agreed, and he kind of took note of what I was saying, and he does a great job of it. So, but I'm the same way. If somebody's just vulgar because they couldn't think of anything else to say, now sometimes those words are their emphasis on what you're trying to get
Right.
across. So I don't mind if somebody says the word. I mean, I say the F word, but I don't. It's not overused. Wayne uses it, but it's not. It's to emphasize something that you're saying. It's just another word, but there's no different than if I just said people who say the word like after, and then I went down the street and I'm like, why do you keep saying that?
Whatever.
Yeah, like what? Quit saying it.
Yeah.
It's just like that. Anytime you overuse a single word, it's pointless. You're wasting time. So
No, I agree with you.
but the people who are just vulgar to be vulgar doesn't make sense. It's funny to me that there's a counter on movies for which actor has said the F word the most times in one movie. And it's like, why are y'all keeping track of that? I mean, if that's something that there's to keep track of, maybe you need to find better writers. They couldn't think of anything else to say.
In the movies, it's the writers,
Yeah.
not the actors.
But what else? Now, here's something. The career that you came from that doesn't strike me as a field where there's a lot of humor.
Public accounting? You kidding me, man?
It doesn't strike me as a room full of guys sitting around cracking jokes.
I'll tell you, I've been the coolest guy in the room once in my life,
Yeah.
but it was a room full of CPAs. They outgoing CPA looks at your shoes and not his shoes. An outgoing CPA
I got you.
looks.
I got you.
Just gotta explain them. See, that's the accounting joke. If there's Bart Simpson actually said this once. If there's a bad accounting joke, I haven't heard it. No, that's where I learned to make up a lot of shit
Mm-hmm.
in the income tax business.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah. Yeah, I've owned a couple businesses. I know how to make up a bunch of shit too. Says here you bought a new truck this year. I was like, yep, sure did.
Yep.
Where's it at? Yeah, I let a friend borrow it.
It's loaded.
Yeah.
So how long were you accounting for?
A long time. I started in the accounting business in 1970-ish and retired in about 2015. So 45 years.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a long time.
That's a long time.
That's you were in that business longer than Wayne and I were alive.
It's probably true.
100% true. Going by the years that you just gave.
That's true.
Yeah. Man, I can't imagine doing any one thing for that long.
Well, I did other things just to keep my sanity.
Right.
But, I mean, coaching kids and...
How many kids you got?
I got 2 kids, 3 grandkids. To my great shame, my grandson is enrolled in the University of Texas. It's kind of a stain on the family name. And my granddaughter's just been admitted to Texas A&M.
Really?
Oh, wow.
Man, you couldn't keep any of them
No.
over here in Indian Territory, huh?
Mm-mm. Well, they grew up in Texas, so
Oh, what part?
they live in Frisco,
Okay.
north side of Dallas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And see, I grew up in Kansas
Mm-hmm.
and went to college in Tulsa,
Okay.
then moved down here for work. Oklahoma City. Moved to Oklahoma City for work.
That's awesome.
It's kind of boring. Isn't it?
Yeah, man. It's so random that you woke up and you're like, I'm gonna be a comic now.
Well,
Yeah.
my wife passed away in August,
Oh, okay.
and I had a little bit of time to think about it while she was, being more ill every day, and I just decided I wasn't going to sit around the house and mildew.
No, yeah, you don't want to be that. If you get complacent, that's when you. Yeah.
So that's when I started playing the banjo. I didn't want to be around the house in the evening,
I can imagine.
so I go play banjo or at an open mic or a jam, and then the comedy
Right.
was there too. So that's what that is all about.
Have you been hitting open mics since the last time we saw you?
I don't believe I have, not even once.
Really?
But I would. I just haven't had the opportunity.
Well, we're working on getting an open mic. My Peacock Comedy is working on getting an open mic started in Oklahoma City area. And once we get that going, you definitely need to be a staple there.
Talk to me after. I got 2 or 3 places I'd recommend to you.
Okay.
Although you might know more places than I do.
That's not. No.
I haven't been around.
There are open mics every night in Oklahoma City.
Right.
I don't know if you know
Not
that.
comedy, not so very much.
Yeah, there are.
Not a bunch of them have stopped. A bunch of
There's
them.
Comedy Danger page. If you do that, you can. There's at least still one every night.
Really?
Yeah.
I know there was a
Not
bunch of them.
Saturdays, Sundays, obviously.
I know there's a bunch of them that quit after the whole
Pump stuff. But
the whole pump situation. There's a bunch
Not
of
really
places
like
that were
that.
just like, we just don't want to take a chance on anything like that happening here.
I don't know anything about it, so.
A guy made some. There's an open mic. He just made some jokes. And
He didn't get in a fight with a guy, did he?
That's me,
Like that.
Chickashay. That's me, Chickashay.
Yeah.
No, he just made some jokes, and then some woke people got mad, and they got mad at the bar, so they had to cancel the pump. The pump open mic was awesome too, because it was always packed.
Is that the pumps like on 23rd?
Looks like a gas station.
Yep.
It was a really good open mic.
I had no idea they did that.
Well, they don't anymore.
Yeah,
That wasn't
they
very
shut
long
it
ago,
down.
though. We for sure got Thursday, Wednesday mics. For sure got.
like they used to have Kendall's. Kendall's no more.
Right.
But now he's changed it to Margaritaville or some shit.
Yeah,
Brandon still runs that.
right.
And then I know Bricktown has theirs on Wednesdays.
You have to sign up a month in advance online.
Yeah, I've done that.
And then
I got in the Lucky Bucket, 10 days, I guess.
Hmm.
I have done it once, I guess, since I saw you
At Bricktown.
in Bricktown. And they drew my name out of the Lucky Bucket, I guess.
Yeah. I thought about going up there, and that's the only way I'd do it. I wouldn't sign up a month in advance. I just go throw my name in the bucket, and if I get drawn, I get drawn.
they'll draw unless they're jealous.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people don't show up. Like one Jesus guy refused to draw Israel's name and mark his name out.
Really?
Yeah.
That sounds about right.
Yep.
Hey, we're fixing to move this conversation to Patreon.
Good.
So,
Yeah.
so guys, if you haven't subscribed to our Patreon yet, be sure to go over there and subscribe. It's only $5 a month. We promise the content is worth it. So for now, I'm Matt Ferrell,
I'm Wayne Morris.
and this has been our guest, Mr. Dennis Maley.
Thank you.
We'll see you at Patreon, guys.
See ya.